Honestly, sometimes I just feel like intros are not necessary. Also, Jesus Christ, this thing's bright. Give me a sec. Okay, that should do us a bit of a favor. Now, as you remember earlier this week, or perhaps some of you the next week, I have set myself up for failure. I did the worst thing that a early YouTuber who does still have to deal with school could ever do. I set an upload schedule. Because of that means I now not only have to sacrifice more of my mental sanity in order to actually comprehend a video idea, but now I have to do it on a regular basis. Honestly, at this point, I'm starting to find more ways to, mess up my sleep schedule because this is really the only time I'm planning to make videos from now on, unless if it's a special occasion. I honestly forgot what I was gonna say, but hey, if I forgot, it's not important. Anyways, today, this very night, I'm making 2 more episodes for the documentary series. The 2 that will be uploaded is a combo between 2 characters in that Bones video I did, and another containing a parasite that can infect gods, and a literal clone of a god that actually managed to become stronger than said god that it originated from. So, let us begin. This episode will be covering the 2 dinosaurs, the normal ones that I mentioned in the Bones episode. This is Buckshot. Buckshot is a... Oh my goodness. Buckshot is a Allosaurus from the Hollow Earth. This variant of Allosaurus is very aggressive and very heavily armored for some unknown fucking reason. Buckshot is considered to be one of the more aggressive residents, to the point where it actually worries some who are just trying to relax on a good Sunday afternoon and such. Now, Buckshot doesn't really have any special abilities like the others. He's just a normal Allosaurus with a hyper aggression, extra armor, a respectable bite force for its size, and an attitude problem. Although, to build upon his information a bit more, we're going to tell you some stories and interactions he has with other people. Other characters in general. He one time tried to rip Junior's head off because he thought he looked at him in a weird way. Another time, if you watched the Junior's crazy babysitting extravaganza, well, he appeared, literally fought some of the BFDI characters and stubbed his toe on pen, which is something. All because he thought that they took his burrito that he was saving for that very night. Turns out, later that very day, he'd find the actual culprit being Kronos who is also in that video during the Pikmin section. What else? Oh yeah. He tried to fight Dagon, but ended up getting his ass handed to him immediately because he just wanted to, I guess. Sometimes he just fights people for no reason. He went fishing with Old Man Barry because Old Man Barry was nice to him and made him that burrito that he lost that same day. He has good interactions with Draco due to both of them being potential psychopaths and love to see murder. And has a mild fondness of Patchy and Geo for both of them being, a type of mood at this point. Geo being a mix of depressed and just grumpy, and Patchy just being a mixture of sleep and grumpy. Both of which buckshot witches he had. Although, if you want to count this as an ability, the only proper ability he has is using his skull as a battering ram. My reference is those old depictions of Allosaurus hunting where they use their head as a battle axe and slam it down onto their opponents. Buckshot's also very temperamental, if you could have guessed by now. He's pretty much just the average drunkie in New York who has a bad attitude problem. So yeah, Buckshot's something. He's pretty much the epitome of what it feels like to have a bad mood. He's always grumpy every once in a while and never happy. The only time he feels happiness is when he successfully killed someone. Now, other things that Buckshot will do is make what I call Buckshot cuisine, where he just basically rips apart everything and anything and turn it basically into dinosaur chum and roasts it like pork or beef and pour the liquid cooked meat match meat into jerky type of molds, wait for them to dry and eat them as if they were bacon. And that's another reason why he likes Dime's Dining Hall, because they have something similar called Jurassic pork and prehistoric bacon, which he also enjoys. The only other time you'd see Buckshot actually being happy is with Old Man Barry when they go fishing, because again, he likes death. So catching and killing said fish is basically a fun game to him. Buckshot has aggressive tendencies, as I said, and has a very sharp rivalry with the next dinosaur in this single video. Also, I just want to give you this for obvious reasons. Do you got game on your phone? POV, you have game on your phone type of thing. I don't really know. I just like his close-up view because it's like really hilarious. Hello. Hi. I'm a dinosaur. You know what? I actually almost forgot to cover a couple things about buckshot. Number one, I forgot to cover the main reason why I decided to even use him in one of these documentaries. It's because I'm pretty sure he's literally the only one of my characters I could describe as a literal sociopath. I mean, besides Draco, but that's really it. Other things I forgot to cover is his his relationships with other characters and his, funnily enough, I forgot to mention the fact that he owns a RPG. So if I mention anything about a RPG for buckshot, he owns it. I must carry on. It's a fake RPG. I mean, in the lore, it's a real RPG that buckshot uses to commit mass murder, but in real life, it's not. Like, why would a 14-year-old own a RPG? That's just stupid. Managed to create something a bit spoopy here, so take that in for a sec on how dark it is. Also, flashbang. Okay, now back to like mildly spooky. So, when it comes to buckshot, okay, yeah, this works. So when it comes to like relationships between buckshot and other characters, I'd say we have one of two interactions: neutral or pissed off all the time. There's barely a passive interaction. The only three people he actually gets along with is Old Man Barry, Mr. Dime, and Draco. One of them's a sociopath, one of them commits murder, which is the fish farming corporation that Old Man Barry implemented. Basically, murder of fish. Although they're not intelligent, so it doesn't give them the same kick. It's close enough. And Mr. Dime because he likes the food that he produces. Everyone else is either neutral or pure on hate. The last character in this episode is by far the most bizarre in terms of design and lore when it comes to like all the normal creatures I have that actually existed. This creature you're looking at is Slasher, the Therizinosaurus. Slasher's personality is very mild. He prefers to stick to himself and be very secretive. And those who do try to bug him about what he is, where he came from, and anything of that jazz, well, he responds with slashing them into multiple pieces. That's how they got his name. As when they ask what his name is after they irritated him enough, he'd say it's Slasher and slash them in half. Very ironic, don't you think? Basically, he is Edward Scissorhands on steroids in a chicken costume. Now, when it comes to his relations with his general personality. Again, another way to look at his personality is the exact opposite of Buckshot. Buckshot's brash and brave and actively fights whoever gets close to him. He gives them a chance to leave, is cunning, and waits his time, looking for any weaknesses of potential threats before rushing into battle. Buckshot's loud and insecure. Slasher's very self-preserved and very calculative and knowledgeable. Being one of the higher tiers when it comes to knowledge. Whilst Buckshot's in contest for those who think the least. So it's kind of apparent when you understand why they hate each other. It's because they mirror each other perfectly. They're basically exact opposites to very last minute detail. Buckshot's scaly and creepy looking. Slasher is sleek, a bit lenient, and looks a bit more approachable than Buckshot due to the feathers and, well, overall lack of fear until you see its hands. Now, when it comes to Slasher and his claws, he's very, very, very careful on what he does with them. He hates when they get dull, so he actively sharps them on metal deposits around the hollow earth. Either that or on metal poles that they use for support for some of their bigger buildings. Slasher also only uses his claws for either killing, cutting fruit, making kebabs on his fingers. Well, claws, I guess you can call them. His fingers would be like the fleshy bits down there that connect it all together. And finally, the only other use he would use for his claws is a fear factor. Raising them up high and flickering them about as such in order to look creepy and also to show off the claws and what you get in your face if you dare nag him. Slasher's abilities is literally none. It's a normal Therizinosaurus, just a bit bigger than normal. His relationships to other characters are as such. Well, Slasher's on good terms with Dagon, Old Man Barry, Rexy Jr., Myapro, Crystal Dagon, also known as Space Dagon, Arctic Claw for having, similar personalities in general, along with the other raptors, that being Ghost the Atrociraptor, Pyro the Pyroraptor, Tom and Emerald Eye the Velociraptors, and Tropper the Microraptor, who's actually a bit big due to him being life-sized when I made him out of pipe cleaners. Yes, I did a temporary fourth wall break. I don't care. Yeah, so that's their relations, their abilities, and all. Well, that was a very interesting video. You got to see most of the. So what I've basically been showing you were for these the first two proper episodes with like the character information and such were, of course, mainly just rivals. But the next one, oh boy, well, you might know him from an iconic series that I literally done a couple months prior. Let's just say, may hope be with you, for the parasite shows no mercy. Not even if it's the creator of this damn documentary series. Fuck!